too many options, we just did what we could. You know we came from the bottom, always knew that we would. Every day we keep grinding, I won't ever stop trying. Till my mama stop crying, I'll make sure that we good. Ain't had too many options, you know we came from.
What up, y'all? I'm Kristin Marie, and you're listening to Imperfect on Purpose, the podcast about progress before perfection. Today I have with me photographer, videographer, clothing designer, manufacturer, and distributor, business owner, father, and rapper, Drowzy Rodriguez. You go by Drowzy or Rudy, babe?
It doesn't matter. Okay. I'm known by both, so it just depends on what demographic I'm in and what I'm doing. So,
okay,
there's a time and a place for everything.
He's been blessed to work with October London, Twista, Boosie, Jacquees, Life Jennings, Vito the Singer, K-Camp, OG Booby Black, Kevin and Drika Gates, Lil Baby, and many others.
Yeah, it's a blessing, man. It's crazy to start hearing your successes because, like, I'm just still getting used to it.
Yeah.
So when people are, like, always, like, congratulations or this and that and mentioning things, it's like sometimes I'll be so busy I don't even pay attention to it.
Yeah, you don't even realize
exactly.
the impact that it's really being made. Yeah. Okay, so I do got, like, this icebreaker story, kind of. So the first time I ever snuck out, like, in life, like, out of anywhere, my friends took me to your house. Like, I was like a sophomore in high school, and I was with Jordan and Talisa, and they were like, oh, people are, like, at Rudy's house. Like, we should go over there. It's probably, like, 2 o'clock in the morning. We sneak out. We, like, go over there. There was this dude that I thought was, like, so cute in high school. Like, I don't even like white boys like that, but he was, like, Greek, so he was, like, tan, and, like, his name is you probably know who I'm talking about.
I think so, maybe.
He went to Adams, but,
okay.
Like, he had thrown up, like, all over himself.
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah.
And y'all was sitting there squirting, like, lotion
that
on.
party was lit. It was crazy.
It was crazy. Yeah, so, like, I walk in, and I don't do throw up. Like, I'm, like, so bad.
It was disgusting.
With
This dude was throwing up on the couch and then go back to sleep. Wake up, throw up on the couch, and go back to sleep. We're fucking with him, throwing powder, doing all kinds of different shit. And then he wakes up in the morning, and he got, like, chunks all over his body. He's just like, bro, why do I stink? That couch was forever tainted. We never sat on that couch
nasty.
again.
And that was like, I was only like a sophomore. Y'all had probably been drinking forever, but like, y'all were like, hey, you want a beer? I'm like, I'm looking at him like, nah, I'm good. I probably didn't drink for like years after that. Like, nah, bro.
Bro, I've never known this story till now. That is absolutely
then we went back, like we tried to go back to Jordan's house and her mom liked us out. So I'm pretty sure we ended up like coming back and spending the night until like 7 a.m. But like that was my first experience like sneaking out was like at your house.
That's hilarious. We used to have like low key ragers down there.
Yeah, y'all was going crazy.
It was always lit in the basement, and you never knew who we were gonna run into or what was going on that time. And we was always big pranksters at that time. So man, that's funny that you said that. That's hilarious.
I was like, dang, he probably don't even realize like.
I really don't. That's
and it wouldn't have been like that big of an impact on your life. You was probably doing that every weekend, but like that was my first time sneaking out, and then like. Yeah, it was just about. I was like, oh my god.
That's hilarious.
I don't think I ever talked to him again after I see him like that either.
We talk about that story too this day.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Man, y'all had him gone.
He was wasted. That's funny. We got stories for days with that basement. That basement was infamous for some crazy stuff going down.
That's crazy.
That's hilarious.
So this episode focuses on starting where you are. So like the concept behind starting where you are is really just basically just starting wherever you are, you know, in life right now and just kind of utilizing what you have and doing whatever you can. So you pretty much started with what you had when you quit your job at the bank. And so how did that start look for you?
So it started with me I was at the bank for about like a year and a half, and they made so many promises, and I was dealing with so much money. I was just like, man, I knew I was worth more at the time, and then that raise came, and they actually gave me a quarter, and when they gave me a quarter, it just like insulted me, like personally. I was just like, man, y'all told me all these promises, y'all told me all this stuff, but you're gonna give me a quarter at my year raise, and I'm just like, you know what? So at that moment, when they gave me my quarter, I gave them my 2 weeks, and I was just like, you know what? I'm tired of getting taken advantage of. I set myself up so that if anything ever happened or anything, that I have something to fall back on, and it's just about taking the right steps and the right procedures to make sure that, you know, even if you fall on your and you ain't got nothing, you can still sustain and still be able to live life and do what you got to do. And that's what everybody gets scared of the initial step, but that's the initial step is what's going to change your mind and change your motives and alter all the things that you got going on in life. And it's a big step, and it's hard, but, you know, nobody wants to take that deep dive and just get it done. And sometimes that's what you got to do just to get different outcomes. And that's what started this.
How did you get over kind of that initial fear to, like, you know, just kind of do it? Like, because a lot of people, you know, you go back and forth in your head, like, oh, I really hate this job, I want to quit. But then, like, you know, you just go back to it and kind of, this is what feels right, and not even feels right, but, like, taking that leap feels too scary. So, like, how did you get over kind of, like, that fear?
Man, so I guess my whole life, anytime I've ever been to a job, every day that I go in, I'm like, man, I know I got so much more potential. I know I got so much more this and that. So every day was like a stepping stone in my head, like, okay, I have to do something about this. I'm not happy. I've never seen nobody get rich off of a job. And I'm starting to put two and two together with my life that, like, okay, if I want to make that financial leap, I got to be able to sacrifice that much more than everybody else. And honestly, it's something that's like real internal. It's like you got to believe in yourself before anybody else believes in you. And I thought it was going to be music at the time, but to be honest, I wasn't that good at music. Like, I had to try very hard, and I didn't get very good outcomes. So I was just like, you know what, this isn't really my path. And then I had the camera sitting there, and I'm just like, you know what, I got to do something with it. I spent $1,000 on this camera, was supposed to make music videos for myself, never did that. And I was just like, you know what, I'm going to start taking pictures. So I started taking pictures for free. People started noticing, and it's something I always loved to do, but I never really thought that I could get paid off of the situation. So then I was just like, you know, I'm going to keep doing it. And then one thing led to another. It's just like 3 months in, I got asked to go to a Boozy concert from a friend, and I was not nowhere near prepared. But that's what made me go to the next level. That's what made me like, okay, this is what I want to do. I was under pressure. I almost failed, but I made it happen. I ended up, a quick little story for y'all. It was my first big concert. It was my first big gig. I was deleting photos in the middle because I ran out of space. 2 of my cards messed up back to back. I've never had damaged cards, but when it happens, it's fatal. I only had 3 cards total. 2 of them messed up at the shoot. I had 1 card that filled up before even Boozy started shooting. And so I'm deleting stuff, trying to get stuff going. And then I lose my keys. And under all this stress, I drop my camera. My lens breaks. So all these things are happening simultaneously, and Boozy hasn't hit the stage. So I'm running my car, running back and forth, trying to figure things out, trying to look for the keys, I'm going crazy. And right before I left, you know, everything happens for a reason. Right before I left, Sal's been to go to Michigan to shoot for him. The owner of Gene's Camera Store goes, everybody always needs a backup nifty 50. Here, go ahead and take this. I'm like, man, I was like, I appreciate it, you know, whatever. And so then that night, that nifty 50 took all the shots because my lens broke and 2 of my cards went bad. So it was just like a lot of lessons learned at one step and one leap that I was just like, okay, next time this will never happen again. I'm about to be prepared this time.
That's the best part about those mistakes is you really kind of, like you said, you won't make that mistake
Facts.
again, or that ain't gonna never happen again, for sure. A lot of people too, I think, focus like too much on the desire for like perfection. Like you said, so many things went wrong. So a lot of people be like, well, I can't do that now because this is gonna go wrong, or what if this goes wrong? And you know, things won't go perfectly, and it doesn't go perfectly. What were some of the excuses, I guess, that you told yourself that really held you back before you kind of made that leap?
Man, I would always want the latest stuff and the newest stuff, and I'd always be like, man, I want to do this, but I'd like to be talking to my mentor. One of my mentors, Jimmy Ball, at the moment. Shout out Jimmy Ball. I'd be like, man, I need this camera. I need this. I need that. And he'd always tell me, you don't need none of that. You just need to start shooting. You need to master that camera first. And then after you master that, that's when you can move to the next level and get the new camera, new this. He goes, but I don't want you to upgrade until you made the money off of what you paid for that camera. So that's exactly what happened. I didn't get a new camera until I mastered this one camera and made the money that I bought for the camera off of that. So I was just like, that was probably my first goal, because I was so stuck up on like, I need the new camera, I need the new lights, I need this, I need that. But at the end of the day, it's all about just lessons. Keep going, keep striving, keep working, and that's what makes progression.
Yeah, because that new camera ain't gonna do nothing if you don't know what you're doing.
Swear, that's
so it really is about, you know, just mastering kind of each level. That's a really good point by you and Jimmy Ball that, you know, like if you set a goal of, okay, once I master this and I make, you know, recoup that money and then I can spend it on, that's a perfect setup to really get you, you know, to where you going.
Facts.
I see you got your own merch on. I've seen a few people around town rocking it. You have your own setup and you create those like at home, right?
Yeah.
And that's something that you started from the ground up, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. What's that process like, and how is that the perfect example of starting where you are and using what you have?
Man, see, so that's perfect because that's like a new startup that I just start. Well, I've been doing T-shirts for about 3 years, but I just started it like all myself in-house this year, and this is the busiest it's been. But everything takes trial and error, and you got to be willing to take that loss or take that lesson so that you can learn from it and keep going. So when I first started making merch, it was nothing but losses. I was just dumping money into it and figuring out what company to go with, what to do, what was best, what was cheapest, what was most expensive, blase, blase. You got to figure out the steps first. And then after that, I was just like, man, every time I do something, I analyze it to be like, how do I cut out the middleman and how do I do everything myself so that I can maximize profits and never have somebody else over me. So I don't got to call somebody else and be like, hey, bro, can I do this? And he's like, well, I got so many orders to do. I want to be able to do everything myself, everything in-house. And so with that, I was just like, you know what? I spent X amount of dollars and lost X amount of dollars trying to advertise, trying to put my merch out there, trying to do it. And that's really, you get like kind of down and devastated when things don't go and, you know, you're not selling and you're not going. So you got to fight through that. You got to constantly keep going, constantly keep grinding. And every single day, just know that, you know, I'm going to put something else out there for advertising, some more merch out there so that people can see it. And that's exactly how you take off. It's just constant daily grind, more and more. It took about 2 years for my shirts to start popping off. And this year I was just like, you know what? I'm going to get the supplier. I'm going to get the people who make the digital prints, and I'm going to figure out how to do everything myself. And now I tell my close friends and family, like, the formula, anybody can do it. And it's like, it's easy. I know the formula to make, everybody can make their own shirts for under $300. And that's how you can start out. And it's professional quality and it's legit. And so that's one thing I want to start mastering too, is start doing classes and like that, stuff like that. So I can have one, perpetual income and do a class so that people can see how to do it. And two, so that more people can be entrepreneurs and do things themselves. And I think that's the difference, is a lot of people are lazy and they'd rather pay out to somebody instead of doing the little bit of extra work to get a little bit more extra profit. And
like you said too, the good thing about, you know, kind of learning it and learning through experiences that you can teach other people. And the good thing about the classes too is you can kind of record that, and then, you know, when people sign up, just send it out later. You don't even got to work. Then you basically making money in your sleep at that point. And that's always,
and
you know,
that's the goal right
man,
there.
So. Have your money working for you.
Yes, sir.
What's your plan, I guess, to kind of scale that to the next level, your clothing brand?
So I'm real big on quality, and what I always try to do is improve on quality, and I judge myself 10 times harder than what somebody else would. So if a shirt lasts me 50 washes, I want it to last 100 washes. So I just always be really strategic on what I do, how I do it, and what quality I let inside my door. And this year was a real big learning curve because I got crazy smashed with sweatshirts and tie-dye. I was doing all the tie-dye myself. So everything was one-to-one. Like, nothing came out the same. And it was crazy, though. Like, at one point, I'd have, like, 20, 30 sweater tie-dyes that I'm doing at one time. And I'm just like, man, this is getting a little crazy. It's getting out of hand because, like, I'm handling T-shirts. I'm handling tie-dye sweatshirts. Then I got family, then I got my financial stocks, then I got photography, then I got videos, and when I get one of each, it's like starts to add up and it gets crazy. So like next year, what I plan on doing is more limited sales. Like, it's gonna be a limited time offer, and then I'm gonna start doing a lot more stitching and stuff like that. So I got actually an embroider coming in, and you know, it's about steps. You know, you can't just get the biggest and the best as soon as you get it. You gotta just keep grinding, keep learning, like I keep saying. And want to get an embroidery this year, and I want to start embroidering all my stuff and, you know, get that to that next level. So its quality standard is A1 impeccable. And
for sure. Another reason a lot of people are afraid to kind of start where they are is they're like busy comparing themselves to others, so much so that they feel like they're like behind in a sense. But they don't see, you know, kind of like, thanks to social media, we really see a lot of like people's highlight reels or kind of like all their accomplishments. You know, probably people see you posting and like, oh, he always doing something. There you go with Boosie now. Like,
right,
you know, but like
right.
they don't see the blood, sweat, and tears, you know, that went into that, the mistakes, your camera dropped. Like, you know, like, and you have been good about posting. I seen when you posted your camera broken, but like, you know, like some people don't show that part. And so people, you know, see that and they think, oh, I'm behind. But like, so if you were talking to somebody that's doubting themselves because they don't think that they don't like where they are already, what would you say to them?
Honestly, it's a little bit deeper to me because, like, I would say once you figure yourself out and you honestly are in tune with your mind, body, and spirit, and you don't care what nobody says or does to you, and you no longer care about losses or gains or, you know, egos or anything like that, once you let those things go and understand that the world is what you make it and what you put out is what you get in. Anytime I post something or anything, people may think it's bragging or something like that, but I never brag. I never I show you the good, bad, and the ugly. And I would like to tell anybody that, you know, it starts with yourself. A big thing for me is meditation. That changed my life, and it helped me I tell everybody, silence the noise. The noise is everybody bickering, backering your way, telling you what's good, what's bad. Everybody's going to have an opinion. People, my own family criticizes me on my pictures more than anybody, but at the end of the day, I like it, and other people seem to like it, which is cool, and I'm going to continue to grow and progress, but at the end of the day, nobody's opinion matters but yours. At the end of the day, nobody is going to do the work that you can provide and what you expect. So, like, you got to really just wash away all the noise and not really listen to anybody, because it's the closest people to you that are going to critique you the most, and you're going to let that emotionally touch you. And it's like, no, because I know no matter what your opinion is, I'm just going to keep going. And that's what it comes down to, is just, you know, I don't worry about anybody. People are going to say I'm bragging. People are going to say I'm showboating this and that. It's because it might look like that from your angle, but the people that have been following me from the get-go know how real I am and how genuine I am and heartfelt I am. So I ain't got to worry about somebody saying, "Oh man, you see him doing out here with Boozy tracking like he the man again." They ain't gonna listen to you really, because they know who I am really. So they're gonna be like, "Man, you really tripping." But it's cool, you know. We gonna keep moving. We gonna keep talking and doing what we do. So, you know, at the end of the day, it just takes you to just brush it off your shoulder. There's always gonna be people pulling on you, wanting to take your energy, wanting to deplete your energy, and you gotta just operate at a frequency that's higher so that you don't even be bothered by that. And thank God, because like my meditation, I don't get stressed. I don't really have anxiety anymore. I used to have insomnia like crazy. All that's gone, and like it's a blessing. Like every day I'm trying to progress. Every day I'm trying to be better than the day I was before. And that's all you got to focus on, and the rest falls into place.
I agree. Meditation really is the key to like being successful and elevating, because, you know, if you can sit with yourself, you can kind of really sit with anybody, and then you learn more about yourself, and just kind of that'll take you to the next level for sure. A lot of people might see, you know, kind of where you are now and like the things you're going through. Can you explain some of the struggles you experienced as a youngin' that really shaped you into the ambitious individual you are today?
I would say the first thing is I was the only child, so like I had to figure out things my own. I had to figure things out quick, and if you didn't figure it out, you were left in the sand. And you know, fortunately, I was spoiled when I was young. My mom loved me; she did everything for me. And then when she got sick, life hit real hard, real quick. I lived in the hospital for about 3 months in Carmel, and my mom was on her deathbed at that moment, and to see that woman go from a vegetable to be able to come back to life, and from me depending on her to being a man and living in a hospital that I knew nobody in town and doing what I had to do, it's like life hits you hard and it hits you quick, and you got to be able to grow up and face those fears and be able to fail and face those encounters. So many people are so scared of no or getting turned down or this and that. They get shut down, and it's like me being the only one that can look out for me, I couldn't do that. It was either you grow up now or you don't. And a lot of the things that I got to see when I was young, I got to learn through a lot of others' mistakes. My uncle went to prison when I was like, I want to say like 11 or 12, maybe even younger. But he was the closest father figure he had to me. And after that, that was another moment where it was just like, man, everything was taken from me at once. So it's like, at one point, I felt like I only had myself. At one point, I felt like nobody loved me. I was an adopted child. I felt like, man, I had to just do it myself. And we all go through these moments, and we all got our own sad story and situations. But it's about how we handle it and how we learn from it, and not let it torture our futures or torture us through as we grow up, because a lot of us deal with past traumas and aren't able to talk about that and aren't able to deal with those things. They just put them under the rug, and the more things you put under the rug, the more it's going to hurt you at the end. So you just got to get through it.
I like how you said, we kind of all got our own, like, sad story and, things that we went through. And that's kind of what this podcast is about, because people always see, like, the highlights. But it's like these things that we've been through. And, like, for now for you can kind of, I guess, somebody can relate to your story and see themselves, like, within you and be like, man, I could do that too. I can find my passion and, like, really go after it. People can see that, and now they can be inspired by you. But if you hadn't went through that, you wouldn't be able to tell that story, right. And it wouldn't have shaped you into the person you are today. You probably wouldn't be as ambitious, if everything was handed to you. Like, it's really all just, like, really plays together so well.
It's crazy. Life happens for a reason, man. Good, bad, and indifferent. And it's just crazy how it pans out, man. It all pans out to the way it's supposed to. If you have pure intentions, you're going to get pure outcomes. If you have negative intentions, you're going to get negative outcomes.
When you started in 2017, your prices were only $50 an hour. Compared to now, you just upped them to $350 an hour. I'm sure you started with a really cheap camera as well. So compared to what you have now, what's that come up been like? And then what's the best way to use, kind of what you have now or what you have already to get to, how basically come up like you did?
100%. So, man, I remember some of the first people that I shot for, they had to believe in me. I had a janky camera. I had some janky lights, and I was just like, man, I want to start shooting videos. I seen everybody doing photos, and I'm like, everybody can't do videos, and it's hard to do videos. So I'm like, I'm going to take that challenge. I'm going to take that step, and I'm going to go through those failures again. And I think that's how I figured out I really love photography and videography, because when I started failing, I was like, man, I don't know nothing about it. I'm going to keep learning. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep driving. So, like, with music, it was more like I'll fail and then I'll feel bad about it. I'm like, man, dang, this sucks, man. I can't make this song for nothing. It's taking forever. Then, like, you lose drive. So I was just like, you know what? That was not for me. When you are really passionate about something, you never stop going. You never stop giving up. So, honestly, thank you to Taz and Dana, my first couple of videos that I told them, you let me learn on you, you locked in for life, and you ain't got to worry about nothing. And both of them to this day still are clients that only go through me, because they like, bro, the progression is crazy. Like, from your first video to video now, and it's just like, it's crazy to me that that's been 1 year. So, like, 1 year I've only been really doing video, and it's like, I can't wait to see what the next year and the next year has to come. So it's like constant pushing, constant grinding, constant learning. You got to get addicted to those things, that learning lifestyle, that constant getting up early and doing things that you don't like to do. I used to hate reading. I'm an avid reader now. I used to hate working out. I work out every single day almost. I used to never know about meditation. I used to hate meditation, and now I love it. Like, you start loving the things that you hate while you grow up, and then you start seeing yourself elevate, and it's just like, it's a different type of reality. We're so used to being negative, getting these negative waves. When we're on a different spectrum and being positive, and we get these positive waves, I'd rather be over here than over here any day.
Yeah.
And it's just like, for me to be able to see both sides, you could never get me to go back. Like, I'm addicted to learning. I'm addicted to growing. I'm addicted to failing. I'm addicted to progression. And that's what you got to be. Just not stop grinding. Let's go.
Most definitely. So I think manifestation is another big part of your journey. So you kind of really manifested working with OG Booby Black and Kevin Gates and Dreka Gates. How did you manifest that? Kind of tell the story on that.
Man, so, man, it's crazy how life is. So my wife, fiance, she bought me tickets to see Kevin Gates in, like, I want to say, like, 2014. I don't remember. It was a while back in the Shelter Center. And the tickets were $10. She knew I liked Kevin Gates, and she was like, come on, we're going to go out there, go get your people, and go have some fun. We went out there. My boys couldn't make it, so we ended up just going out there having a good time. Probably one of the best concerts. Ever since I listened to Kevin, he brought me back to a reality that Tupac used to do for me when I was a kid. Tupac helped get me through depression, helped me get through childhood, helped me get through just long days and long nights. You know, I don't care if we're in school, no matter what we're doing, we got headphones and I'm jamming a Pac. And I would say Kevin Gates and Nipsey brought that back to me, that like just realism, that real artist, realness. And so I always followed them, and I always, you know, was intrigued by them. So I went to the show. I was the last one there because I wanted to talk to the DJ and try to, at the time I was doing music, so I'm like, bro, I'm about to get a feature. I don't care. Da, da, da. I had some money in my pocket. I'm like, let's go. I'm ready. So then I was the only Mexican there, and I'm like, Latino Nation, da, da, da. He stopped what he's doing, shook up with me. This dude tried jumping in front of him and shake up. He's like, nah, back up, man. He shakes up with me. And so it was cool, man. It was a vibe, and I just felt good. Dude was super cool. And I'm just like, man, I felt like I could connect with them type thing. So then I always stay following them. Always, you know, I ended up meeting up with a DJ. It didn't go through just because I was young and things were happening. So, you know, I just fell back and just continued to watch us progress and continue to follow him. Then I seen that he ended up going to jail in Florida, right by my family's, where they lived in Florida. So I was like, you know, I'm going to see if I can pull up and see him in jail. I don't even know the man. I pull up to the jail, and I'm like, hey, man, I'm here in Polk County, da-da-da. And they're like, do you know him? Are you related to him? And the sheriff, I'm like, yeah, that's my cousin, right? And, and he's like, that's your cousin? I'm like, yeah. Da-da-da. So then they're like, all right.
He ain't got no Mexican
cousin. Right. And then he's like, all right, so I'm going to go back there. I'm going to ask him. And then if he says, yeah, then you meet him. I'm like, all right, cool. Ended up coming back. He's like, man, he said he don't know you, man. I'm like, damn, I just drove an hour. And I was like, man, they ain't let me in here. So I'm like, fuck it, man. You know, this is the constant grind. When you're a kid, you're ambitious, and you want to constantly try to do whatever you can to stand out from others. I wrote him. I sent him money in jail. I was just an avid fan. And then he ended up doing some music with a gentleman that I'm not going to mention because I really am not fond of him, but no more. But it is what it is. He ended up doing some music with this gentleman, and I ended up following this gentleman, and me and this gentleman were talking for a minute. We were about to do features. We were getting all kinds of stuff done. Cool cat at the moment. And he ended up was like, let's fly out to LA when Kevin gets out. We're going to go see a show. I'm going to have you shoot on the boat with him. I'm going to have you do this for him. I'm going to have you do that. He was sweet talking me up. He was a scammer, so it is what it is. But so then he was just, you know, juicing me up. He knew I was ambitious. He knew I had bread. He knew I was ready to do it. So then we go out to Cali. He flies me out to Cali, and we have a good time. We're chilling, having a good time. But something was off about him. And when I get to Cali, I'm just like, man, something's weird, bro. Like, never, ever fight your gut. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Never, ever fight your gut. It is.
If it don't feel right, it ain't right.
It ain't right. You just got to bounce out. And the thing is like, so I was young, and I was already committed. So, like, I'm already here. We already got the hotel. We already got this. And I was feeling bad. And I'm like, man, something's weird, bro. I got to get out of here. And I'm just like, I'm already here. It's just already shaking. So I'm like, this is my chance. Either I'm going to do it or I'm not. And that's what I'm thinking. I'm getting bubble guts and all this stuff for. I'm like, this is your chance. You're going to do it or you're not. And so then right before the show came on, Buddy started acting funny and stuff. And we had contracts. We had money agreements. We had money exchange. We had a whole bunch of stuff going on. And he started acting funny. So then I was just like, man, I started getting real in my feelings. And I'm like, man, bro, it turned me like to my dark days, and I was just like, man, I'm about to do something stupid to this dude right here. And I called my girl. I'm like, hey, man, you know, I might not come home. I'm feeling like the devil is trying to attack me type thing. And, you know, I'm about to go crazy type. And she's just like, no, you know, the baby's sick. I need you home. Forget whatever you lost, whatever happened. Just come home. I need you home. And I'm like, man, I can't just let this one go. It was really irking me. And I'm just like, then that's probably one of the biggest steps in my life where just I didn't let pride get in the way. And I was just like, you know what, I got to go home. My baby's sick. I got to go do what I got to do. It took me into a real big depression for a little while. I lost a lot of money, lost a lot of contacts, lost a lot of stuff. And it is what it is. And so then I was just down and out for a while. Just like, man, F it, you know, got to do what you got to do and get back up and grind. You know, we fall, but it's about how long you stay down. It's about how long until you get back up. It's not about how long you stay down. And so I got back up, got to the grind, started pursuing stuff again, and finally got out my funk. And I was like, you know what? I forgive that man. Like, you know, whatever he did because he needed to type. I was like, whatever's meant to be is meant to be, and I'm going to stop chasing anything. I'm going to stop trying to go out and get it. I'm going to stop being so ambitious and just let these things come to me, figure myself out, figure out what's going on. And that's when the manifestation was real. I set that seed in my brain, and I just did it till I couldn't do it no more, just constantly just worry about myself being, worry about what my body's telling me, and don't worry about anything else, literally nothing else. And everything starts coming to you. It's crazy. Like, it's literally crazy. So I would start meditating, and I would start just hoping that things just come my way. And then all of a sudden, I started gaining all this traction, and I would still be cold calling, cold emailing, and still trying. I never gave up. I just kept going. And then this dispensary hit me one day and was like, hey, we need you to get this shoot for BWA, and blase, we want you to come do it. Yeah, we've been seeing you've hit us up like 3-4 times, and they ain't hit me back. So I'm just constantly hitting them. And then they finally said, yeah. So then I went, did the shoot for him, and I had a gift for him. I wasn't going to give it to him at the beginning. I'm like, nah. My girl was like, wait till the end and give it to him at the end. I was like, all right, bet. Finish the shoot, give it to him at the end, and they're like, man, you a real cool dude. They were like, you know what, actually, they were like, what you about to do? I'm like, nothing, go home and edit these photos. They were like, come out to eat with us. So then we go out to eat, and we all have a good time. We all have just vibing real good, and, you know, it's crazy. You know, you don't give up on your dreams no matter how many times you fall, how hard you hit the floor. I lost so much money trying to chase down this man, and flying to California, doing all this extra stuff, flying to Florida, trying to go see him, and to be able to meet this man 45 minutes away from my house.
And now he done came to you.
Came to me.
Yeah.
Came to me. I ain't have to go nowhere. And it's just like, it's a blessing, man. God works in mysterious ways. And, you know, I know in the future, God is going to be able to co-mingle me with them more. And he has a lot more in plan for me. And it's just like, you know, now I'm just accepting the blessing because I know what's meant to be.
Yeah. That's such a dope story, too. It's funny because Drika is on my list of people to, like, interview for my podcast. And I've been manifesting that since day one. She's like, so dope. It's crazy, though, because the provisioning center, the dispensary, they had a giveaway for Valentine's Day. And I just won that shit today.
Hey, that's what's up.
I was like, okay, period. Now they in my Instagram inbox, so I'm finna send y'all the sponsorship form for my podcast. Like, you know, I'm about to get that connected. Like, we finna be lit. So it's just crazy because I literally been manifesting. Like, I always tag Drika on my Instagram story, and I'd be like, yeah, when she come on my podcast, you know, she's probably like, what are you talking about? But
right.
Whatever, period.
You gotta speak it into existence,
on me.
man. I swear, nobody's gonna believe in it until you believe in it. And once you firmly believe in it, and what I tell everybody, when you believe in something, have pure intentions. Once you have pure intentions, the rest falls into place.
What was your biggest imperfection, hurdle to climb, or mistake along the journey? Like,
okay,
what was kind of the biggest one that you've had?
I'm gonna give you a little bit of a couple of them. So, my biggest self imperfection was insomnia. I couldn't sleep And if you can't sleep, you can't do nothing. You're paranoid, you're anxious, you're everything. And that was like one of the biggest hurdles that I had to climb out of, to be able to come at peace with my body, soul, and spirit. And a lot of people be like, man, that's not really much. But bro, I'm telling you, if you can't sleep and you are up for 3-4 days, you will drive yourself crazy. And it got to the point to where, like, I really wanted to check myself in, but I really had to check myself and figure that stuff out personally, because they're going to give you a medication and just tell you to keep going. And I didn't want that. And so I would say personally, that was a big, just like self-imperfection that just, it took a long time. And after defeating that hurdle, it was a blessing. But I would say another thing is that I'm really hard on myself. And this is one that I've never given up. So like, I critique myself more than anybody else does. I critique my work to a T, and it's like, it's never perfect to me, but it gets better and better and better and better and better. And that's a good flaw / quality to have, because it's like, yeah, I may beat myself up the most, but I know I'm producing quality.
I'm really hard on myself too, like to the point where like I want everything to be perfect, which is why I named this podcast Imperfect on Purpose, because it's about dropping that, like, you know, need for everything to go completely perfect, because that's like, it ain't gonna happen like that. And then it's like, you know, like it's to the point where I'm trying so hard to make everything go right that I'm just not gonna do it at all. You just gotta let that go and just kind of, you know, go with the flow. And
I feel like when you're like, have that mindset, you really end up making more mistakes, because you're so set on like it being perfect that you end up messing up the little stuff that you usually are used to and stuff like that. So I think that's the thing that we have to learn, is just like, you know, nothing's gonna be perfect. You just gotta do it and then learn from it.
Yeah. How did you set yourself up to kind of quit your job and make sure that you didn't end up like back at the bank?
So I've always been a financial like obsessor. I've always been obsessed with financials. So like I've saved literally probably from the time I was 18 to probably, when did I buy my house? When I was 22, 23, I think. I literally saved everything I could, and I didn't go out as much as the average person. I would be busting my ass working. I would be doing all these things, and I would save. That was my biggest thing, because ownership is the key to success. If you own it, you don't got to worry about nothing. And that was one of my biggest things. And so I save. And then I bought a house, which was the scariest thing I ever did, because I bought it off of Facebook.
Oh,
and I ended up finding the house a week before my daughter was born. And everybody was like, how are you going to? I was like, I'm going to find a house. 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 A week before she was born, I found a house, bought a house, cash, was completely broke after that. I'm talking about $0. And I'm just like, man, I'm completely broke, but I have a house that doesn't have no rent, and all I got to do is pay utilities. So then that's when like ownership really kicked in, and it's just like, okay, so you own this house. What are you going to do to pay yourself back and to make sure that you steadily got income? So then I was like, you know what, if we go into, no matter what we go into, whether it's COVID or another depression or whatever, I own this. So as long as I can maintain the utilities, I'm cool. So I just put aside, 6 months to 8 months of utilities, and I'll be like, within that 6 to 8 months, I'll be able to make enough money for another 6 to 8 months, hopefully. And that's exactly how I jumped the gap of ownership. I owned the house, was completely broke, saved enough money to have for 6 to 8 months, and then quit my job for 6 to 8 months, was grinding, doing anything for $1, still trying to push my brand, still trying to do all these things, learning. And when you get down to like that last 2-3 months and you're like, man, I haven't made $1, I'm broke, this and that, you start feeling the pressure. And when you feel the pressure, you will do anything to get paid. It doesn't matter. You got to just go, get paid. Like, it's whatever. And that's what led me to just constantly shooting. I don't care if I'm getting $50 a shoot. I'm going to shoot as much as I possibly can. And that's when it would take me 6 hours to do a photo session. Now it takes me like 20-30 minutes to do 300 photos. Like, I can knock it out real quick. And it's just like, you gotta fall in love with the progress. You gotta fall in love with the progression, and it's just that's what set me apart financially. That I could just like, you know, ownership. I just bought me a studio because I could have rented a studio, but the 1 year of rent that I was gonna pay would be the same equivalent of me owning a shed, and then now I own the shed, so if I ever go broke and have to sell it or do something with it, I can rent it out. I own it, so whatever I gotta do, I ain't gotta pay rent, and that's a big key.
And that's literally just like you put that shed in your backyard too,
Yeah.
right? So now it's close to home.
Yeah.
It's yours, you own it, and you can kind of, you know, customize it and do whatever you want with it. That's dope.
Yeah.
And that's part of, you know, starting where you are too. You was like, shoot, I'm gonna start with my own shed,
Man,
you know, and then
and
one
that's the
day
thing.
maybe I'll own a big building, you know, like.
And the thing is like I know it's to come, and when I say a photo studio in the shed, people be like, what? But when they come see it, they gonna be like, dang, bro,
Yeah.
snap, like he wasn't playing. It's all about, you know, starts with a vision in your mind, and then analyzing a plan and making goals and hitting that plan every single day. You know, I'm in the hole like crazy for this dang shed, but I know this summer is gonna be crazy with headshots. I'm stealing everybody's Facebook profile picture, $50 profile pictures. Come get them right now, and it's gonna be lining up. I'm like, that you just gotta have those goals and just set them and go crazy.
Yeah, that's lit. That's lit. I'm gonna definitely stop by for me one, you know, get us
you
right.
already know, I got you.
So just to spit kind of some facts, 22% of Americans from 25 to 34 started new businesses in 2019. 20% of those businesses fail in the first year. 50% of those don't make it past 5 years. What steps did you do to ensure that you would make it here after 4 years? And how will you and your team, you know, kind of be set up for year 5?
Definitely. So, like I said, man, before, ownership is the key to success, and preparation is the key to success. I love these facts right here. That's dope. So, like, when I started doing this, I just knew no matter what, I gotta keep going. There is no failure. There is no giving up. And as long as you keep that in your mind, you won't lose. You gotta fall in love with it. Just keep going. And honestly, like, being able to own what's yours and nobody tell you when you can have a day off, when you can't, that is when, like, I knew that this was for me, because I didn't like taking direction from other people. It's not that I couldn't, it's just that I knew my worth and I knew my quality, and it's like, gotta keep fighting to own things, assets over liabilities, and just constantly doing different things to make money, so that your money makes money for you and you're not always working for money. And that's like a big step. Stocks is another thing that just like elevated my financials, so that I'm making money in my sleep. And like, that's another big step. Everybody asks, how did you learn about stocks? I went on YouTube and just started looking up stocks, and then I started following pages. Then I started buying courses, and then I started buying more courses, and then I've lost a lot of money. And then I was like, I'm not gonna lose a lot of money again. I know what to do this time. And then when the chance came recently, within like literally 2 weeks, stock market's been crashing like crazy lately. I stocked the hell up. I feel so broke because I got so much money in the market, but I know when the time bounces back in 2-3 months, it's time to go. Just like
right,
Nip said, all money in. What you expect for the outcome to be?
I bought a lot of my stocks during the pandemic too.
Ooh.
When when everything was tanking, I was like, let me go and get, because I know one day, you know, it's gonna be over and it'll be, man, one of them ain't doing too good though. I'm not gonna lie, it's about $600 in that one. I'm like, dang. See, it's all good though. It'll probably, if that one shoot up though, it's gonna be like if you had bought Amazon in like 1997. I ain't gonna put nobody on though, because that's my secret stock. But I
feel it. Nah, you definitely.
Then again, I guess I should say something. If people start going to buy it, then
right, it's gonna gain traction.
Man.
But you know, it's all about just like learning. You gotta constantly keep learning. I never knew about stocks, but COVID was the first year that I ever bought a stock. Mm-hmm. And the first year I ever bought a stock, I turned 6K to 12K in 1 year. And it was less than 1 year. It was probably about 8 months. And after that, I said, I've been fucking up my whole life. Why did I not know this in high school? If I knew stocks when I was 18, I would be rich right now.
And you don't even got it. You just basically buy it. It just sit there, and then you reset. Like, you don't even have to do anything. There's not even that much work besides the research and, like, you know, like learning the game, there's not that much work that goes into it to make the money either. So like
100%.
it's an easy come up. Like.
And with YouTube teaches you anything. So like people be having all these questions, go to YouTube, ask any question. You're going to learn what you're trying to find out. And it's whether or not you're going to apply it. And that's what it is. 90% of the people don't apply it.
Mm-hmm. Man, that's a pro tip for starting where you are. Start on YouTube. YouTube, Google, all of that. Like, that's what'll get you right, and that'll get you everything you need to know. Like
I stay on YouTube. My fiance hates me because I am on this thing 24/7, either on YouTube, stocks, or reading an Audible book, and I'm like addicted to. Or my bad, another one, Calm app changed my life.
What is the Calm?
Calm app, it helps you meditate. It takes your meditation from here to bam.
Okay.
Be able to really meditate.
She ain't mad that you out there learning though. She mad because men listen to their videos on like max volume.
Oh yeah. That's
like
true,
you'll just be sitting there and then
that's
like
true.
a man will just play a video at like the highest decibel and you're like, why are you watching that so loud? Like, oh. And then turn it down. I'm like, why do y'all do? I don't know why y'all do that. I gotta get
every key of Ethereum. I gotta know what's going on, and dial it in.
I see. Y'all don't want nobody else to have nothing else to do. Y'all just. I'm like, now I'm listening to your video because it's over mine. Like, yeah, nah, I feel that. But so here's another fact: Latinos have the highest rate of new entrepreneurship over any other demographic in the U.S. So about 440 out of every 100,000 Latino adults have become entrepreneurs each month in 2019, which that's only about 240 for blacks and 290 for whites. So that's a significant dope. High. Like, do you think that like the fact that you came from an immigrant family as well, do you think that coming from an immigrant family or not having, the same immigration status as like some of us other Americans kind of leads Latinos to want to start their own business and kind of, work on their own?
Like, poverty breeds a different type of animal. And Hispanics are the modern day slaves. Like, they get treated like crap, they get paid like crap, and they don't say a damn word, and they just keep working and doing what they're doing. And the thing is, if you give that person an education, if you give that person the right steps to get a business and do what they got to do, they going to bust their ass every single day, just like they was busting their ass when they was getting paid $8. So, like, it's just like, I feel like it's a cultural thing that, like, when you feel suppressed for so long, you just got to keep grinding. And no matter, that's one thing I love about the Latinos is, like, they work. These motherfuckers work, and they get it done. So, like, that's like, it's embedded in us, and it's like we hold each other to a standard. If we're working on a job site and shit, it's like, quit being a lazy motherfucker and get your ass up and do something. You from the land, you better get that shit done. And I love it. But, I'm also from the hood, so I love my brothers too, So, like, I'm not from the, over across the seas and under the border. So it's like, it's a catch-22. It's crazy, but I definitely think that leads a big role in, like, they're starting to see that they can get that education. They're starting to see they can get that ownership, and their kids are now starting to grow up in that educational system and grow up and put them in that position. So I think that's super dope. I was just talking about one of my friends that he was working with me at the bank at the time, and now this dude is a head manager making 6 figures at Amazon by his family. His dad was like a painter or something, gave his dad a LLC to his painter's entrepreneurship, bought his dad a crib, and bought himself a crib. And it's like, damn, dude, that's fucking sick, bro. And it's to be able to have generational wealth and just Latinos put on for their family. It's kind of like the Asians and stuff do. Like, we got to see more of that within the culture, giving each other more. And, I like that because my family's kind of not like that. We fend for ourselves, but I'm trying to change that, let people know that, we got to build together and grow together to be able to see different outcomes, generational wealth.
That method of kind of building together and growing together, that works in, like, the hood aspect too. Like, when people that came from kind of like the trenches, when we work together and kind of like, come up together, it goes a lot better than if we all just kind of push each other down on the way up there. So no, I definitely feel that.
Definitely.
So here's my last question. I specialize in marketing for my day job. I guess, like, what marketing related question would you ask me? Kind of anything about growing your brand, social media.
That's sick. I haven't got that question. So what are you doing for your Day job.
Right now, I do nonprofit marketing.
Oh.
If you don't have a question, I do got a suggestion for you.
Okay, what's that?
You're a creative. How come you are not on TikTok?
Man, and see, the thing is like, I'm on TikTok, but I don't post like that. So like, I get tired. I don't got all my stuff connected. I'm not like on the same level as everybody. You post a TikTok and you get it on Instagram and Snapchat and Facebook all at the same time. Me, I gotta download the video, post it on here, have post it on TikTok, have 16 hashtags, post it on Facebook and do this, post it on Instagram, and it's just like, it gets too much. And then like, I don't know, man. I gotta link it all. I gotta link it all together.
Yeah, you gotta link
I
it all
definitely
together.
do.
But you're like, by not being on TikTok, you're doing yourself a disjustice. Like, more people will notice you. Like, you know, not
That's
even
facts.
from, like, literally,
That's facts.
like, people will see you from out of town and be like, yo, I want to work with him. They'll fly you out somewhere. Like, brands, all of that. Because, like, TikTok is such a, like, creative platform that you have to be creative on there. So creatives really thrive on there. So, like, I think you should get on TikTok. And really, like, really start posting. Even if it's just, like, snippets from, like, your videos, like, just a cool part. Like, each social media is like a little bit different, but TikTok is definitely the fastest growing one. There's 1 billion users on there, and like, it's just everything about it is, you know, like, it's going so fast. And even my social media is like, I do social media for work, and I've only had that for like a year, and that's my highest, you know, social media account over anything.
That's
like,
super sick.
And that's most people's, because it's like, you could post one video to start out with, and that one could go viral. Like, you have no idea. Like, it's crazy.
I need to get on it.
But yeah, that's my advice for you is you got to get on TikTok.
I got you. That's going to be definitely a goal of mine. And see, it's crazy because I posted something the other day and I was like, maybe if I just post like 5-10 videos at a time. And I'm like, no, man, I need to just be consistent and just keep posting videos because I be getting lazy. I be like, these damn hashtags are killing me. I got to find 50
You don't even need
hashtags.
that many hashtags on TikTok. That's barely a thing on there. You can put 2.
Oh boy, what is it? Mike, Loud Talk TV, he was on me about the hashtags. He was like, bro, you need like fill up the hashtags every time. Hashtag, hashtag, hashtag. So I definitely am gonna start being on TikTok more. I gotta start getting more on the marketing this year. Actually, we're gonna be in Bar Louie, we're gonna be in Salsas, we're gonna be in the Tap, Rorik's, and a couple different restaurants around town. And then I'm also gonna be working on advertising, just like billboards and different stuff like that, just to get out of the realm of just local. It's time to start getting more geographical.
That's dope. That's awesome.
Dope.
All right, so where can people follow the rest of your journey? Like, what's your social media links?
Most of my social media, my personal social media is Drowzy at DROWZ_Y. Rodriguez could be the last name, or you can find me at Rodriguez Production. That's on Instagram, but that's more of like my business page, and Drowzy is more on my personal page. So follow me, come follow the journey, see my failures, my successes, learn from them, and let's keep grinding together. Entrepreneurs, let's go.
Just happened to become everything I thought I'd be. I can't take defeat, control the temp, I bring the heat in the end zone. Trying to make a way to put my friends on. Took 2 years to set a foundation we could build on. Play the cards I was dealt, I must have played them right. Life ain't come with no directions, I'm just taking rights. I woke up and asked my dreams if they could stay tonight. I'm just trying to motivate or even change a life. Gotta win, I ain't got too much to lose. Barely had options, I ain't had too much to choose.
Too many options, we just did what we could. You know we came from the bottom, always knew that we would.